Alright, welcome back. It's part two. It's time for part two. Here we go. So now we're talking. What I wanted to talk about was Amarin's first 2 months, right? So he comes in halfway through the season, and obviously no preseason. So what happens in his first 2 months, right? His Premier League Prem record is 3-2-6. Cups record is 4-0-1. Overall 7-2-7. 6 of his losses in his first 2 months, right? So you get 6 Premier losses in his first 2 months, right? That's 6 out of the 14 Premier losses he had that season. That's 42% of his Prem losses happen inside of the first 2 months in charge. Like coming in halfway through the season, all the BS that you have to deal with, like all that locker room the way that it was. There being absolutely like nothing here. There was like no structure. There was no way that the players had to behave. There was nothing here under Erik ten Hag, man. And this is what he came in overall 7-2-7, but 42% of his losses came in the first 2 months of charge. And we take a quick look at the first 2 months, right? Okay, who did he lose to? Arsenal, okay, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, not teams that are terribly bad, right? But then this is where you get most of the losses that he has inside of that season right here, right? And up to this run of like 2 or 3 games right here, I believe it's this run right here. This is the very first time since he took over in January 15th where he has pretty much the same starting lineup as he did the season before. I mean, like the match before. Like these 3 games was the first time where he had like kind of figured out his lineup. This right here, this line, I think it was either these 3 or these 3 right here. I forget. I'm pretty sure it's these 3, but it could be these 3. That was the very first time, either December 30th or January 5th. One of those 2 was the very first like game of a 3-game run of having the same lineup, or like the very closest that he could have had to the same lineup. So those first games that you're looking at, like previously, when you're looking at like right here, he had a different lineup. He had a different lineup in every single one of these games. And I'm not talking about like, oh, he had like one player that was different, or like it was 3 to 5 players in every single lineup all the way up to like this game. So I mean, you got 4 games here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for 12 games, his first 12 games, he had a brand new like lineup every single one of those games, trying to figure out what was going on. And then from here on, he kind of starts to like get something. And then we'll see what happens like from January 5th, let's say. But this is the first 2 months of him being in charge. Like, is it pretty? Heck no. It's not. But you could see why you could have struggled inside of that, right? Because you're literally looking at December 30th as 5 of his losses in the Prem right here before January 5th, I mean. So December 30th, before the start of the new year. So he takes over. His first game is November 24th. November 24th is his first game. And by December 30th, he had lost 5 of the Premier League games that he lost inside of the first like 2 months of the season. Like, you could see why it could have happened inside of a month and a half of him being here, man. Him losing the like 6 out of the 7 games that he lost, right? 6 out of the 7 games he lost in the first 2 months came at this like before December 30th, and he took over November 24th. So there's something you can see, like, okay, so he struggled at the beginning. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's just continue to put a little bit more context into this. Let's just continue to put more context, and you'll get more in my next video. I'll catch you guys in that one.